what is clear from this is that Blake's team is really, really nervous at this point.
Yeah, we've lost some talk.
Hi and welcome to Flows of Talk. I'm Shashti Floor, journalist, Hollywood truth teller, and your voice of reason in a town built on delusion. So let's just get right into everything, you guys. So Blake Lively has now filed another letter to the judge, and it's basically a preparation for Baldoni's appeal. This letter could totally backfire on her. I'll get into all that legal stuff. It's a little bit complicated, but it's very interesting. Also, Radar Online blew up this story today. It's so funny and so weird, and I wonder how this happened. So they're reporting on that story of that guy who jumped the fence at Travis Kelce's home to allegedly subpoena Taylor Swift. That happened over a month ago, and now it's like a big story. It's so weird. Also, Jennifer Lawrence opens up about plastic surgery and what she's planning to do. And Sydney Sweeney talks about confidence and how you should flaunt what you have. I got some opinions about all of that. But let's start with this Blake Lively filing first. So as you might remember, a few weeks ago, New York Times asked the judge to do a final ruling on this case. And they also sued Baldoni to get their attorney's fees covered. Anyways, now Blake Lively's team is also asking the judge to put a final stamp on all of this. And why this is happening now, I think in regards to the New York Times thing, I spoke about this before, but I think they're really worried that the Van Zandt depositions and the discovery around that Van Zandt company that's owned by Ryan Reynolds that filed the sham lawsuit against Stephanie Jones to get hold of Jennifer Abel's phone. Who knows what happened behind the scenes and how involved the New York Times was in that whole scenario. And I think they just want to get out of there before any more findings are on the table. As you know, there's still a few things surrounding that case that's not been finalized yet. Blake Lively asked for legal fees and sanctions. The anti-slap motion is still hanging up in the air. Basically, they want a lot of money from Baldoni and the Wayfair team. And that hasn't been ruled on yet. One of the reasons why they're doing this, I think, is just pure PR to say that we really won the case. Maybe they can get some more headlines from it, that the judge ruled finally. And Justin Baldoni is the loser, and his case didn't have any merit and whatsoever. And I think also they want all those headlines out there before Justin Baldoni appeals. In the letter they filed to the judge, it looks like on the language that they're using that they're really preparing for his appeal, which I am really looking forward to. If the judge sees through this, which I think he will realize as well that this is just a PR spin for them to get some more headlines. So they're saying to the judge, please judge, just make it look like we won, and then we can chase all those fees later. But now we just need that stamp that it's final, it's dismissed. So this is also a little bit about control and how they prepare themselves for this appeal from Baldoni, because they're telling the judge that when he appeals, we want you to put the sanctions and the fees and everything back into the package. We don't want it to be two separate things like they are now because the case is dismissed, but the fees and everything is not decided on yet. So what could potentially happen from this is that the appellate court, the Second Circuit, could see some weak points here, and then they could let Baldoni keep some of his points, and then his case would be reinstated. And then all that evidence will come back into the public eye again, and Justin Baldoni will have a lot more control of the narrative. And of course, Blake Lively does not want that. So Baldoni can, of course, choose not to appeal, but I think that's not very likely at this point, because that's his only chance on getting on top of the narrative again, because now all he's doing is just defending himself constantly, while if he chooses to appeal, he will get on top of the story again. That also means that this case will go on and on and on for a very long time. So appealing would really be his best shot to clear his name in Hollywood. I can't wait for that to happen. I'm really crossing my fingers that that's the plan here. They've been so quiet lately. They haven't responded to the New York Times. They haven't responded to this. So I am wondering what they're thinking. I hope we will find out soon. What is clear from this is that Blake's team is really, really nervous at this point. As I said yesterday, those statements that they gave to the press a few months ago about this overwhelming amount of evidence that they're sitting on, we now know that that was a lie and they have nothing. And now it's all coming back to haunt them. Okay, so what is this story? I was really surprised. I went to Radar Online this morning and I was like, whoa, what's this story? And it's the main story on the front page and it says exclusive all over it. And it's the story about this guy who jumped the fence at Travis Kelce's house and got arrested and seemingly was there to serve Taylor Swift from Baldoni. This was at 2 a.m. in the morning, and a lot of internet sleuths looked into this and found out that this had nothing to do with Baldoni. And also TMZ asked him when they met him at the airport about a month ago, they asked Baldoni about that, and he said that's just crazy rumors. I don't know all the details, but someone went down to get the police report. And this man had nothing to do with this. So everyone knew that this man wasn't sent by the Wayfair party or Baldoni. He didn't have a subpoena from Baldoni in his hand. And then Radar Online plastered it all over the front page. And they're even saying here that Fisher, which was the name of this guy who jumped the fence, is due back in court on October 15. I mean, it's October 28th today. I wonder if Leslie Sloan called them and were like, hey, look at this exclusive case, this story we have for you here. I don't know, something's very fishy here. And to me, this looks so planted. Anyways, Jennifer Lawrence opened up about plastic surgery in this interview with Variety. And there's a story here in People magazine saying that Jennifer Lawrence confirms the cosmetic enhancement she's into right now and which plastic surgery she's eyeing next. She denies she had anything done yet except for Botox. She doesn't do fillers. And she said she understands the implications by injecting her forehead and the fact that that is not great for her acting. And apparently there's been some buzz about her having a facelift, and she's saying here, I didn't have one, believe me, but I'm going to, she admitted. I like that she admits that she's going to have a facelift, although I hope she doesn't. She goes on about how she felt uncomfortable having the nude scenes that she has in the movie she has out now, No Hard Feelings with Robert Pattinson. I haven't watched that yet. I'm curious about that movie actually. And she opened up about her body image and how her body has changed. She said she bounced back after her first child, but then after the second, it didn't bounce back. And she's planning to have a boob job. I applaud Jennifer Lawrence for being so honest. I really like her. I've interviewed her once and I felt she's so refreshing. You don't have to agree with everything she says, but at least she's just open and honest about things. And I really appreciate that. She does admit here, though, that if she wasn't in the public eye, she probably wouldn't do anything. And she's talking about this before and after pictures that, you know, I've seen so many people do this lately on TikTok and Instagram. It's like, oh, look, she's got a facelift. And then they compare pictures. And she's saying here, they compare pictures of me from when I was 19. I'm 30 now. My face has changed. And obviously your face changes a lot from your 19. You have a much more like chubby baby face, and then you lose fat in your face as you get older. And I mean, I do have sympathy for actresses who have to go through this and everyone's judging every centimeter on their bodies the entire time. And I do understand that insecurity can come from that. But as I said before, I think it's so terrifying to see how everyone in Hollywood, or the women and also the men now actually, is merging into the same face. They all have the same nose, the same lips, the same chin, the same eyes. Everything is just fake. And it makes it really hard to watch them on screen. Like I said before, Nicole Kidman, Demi Moore, I mean, they're beautiful women, but they just look fake. And the way that the media is celebrating their looks, like, oh my God, they're so beautiful, she doesn't look 60. I think they do look their age. I don't think any plastic surgery really makes you look younger. I think it just makes you look good for your age. But as I said in the other episode, I was talking to my friend who's an actress here in LA the other day, and she said to me, at one certain point in your life, you have to choose if you want to look old or if you want to look weird. And a lot of people choose to look weird. And that brings me to Kris Jenner, who had this $100,000 facelift. It was all over the internet, and everyone said, look, she looks amazing. And she posted this photo of herself. And I was like, wow, she looks like 29. But then we realized there were a lot of filters involved in that photo, and she actually looks like this, which is very different. You can see the texture of her skin. It's not like it is in this photoshopped or the filter photo that she posted herself. So it's not so magical. And that's another thing that kind of upsets me, because when you've done something and you're proud of it and you want to show it off, but then you're not showing the real picture, and people actually look at that photo of Kris Jenner and like, oh, I'm going to do a facelift because I'm going to look like that. And you're not going to end up looking like that because she doesn't look like that. And that's just very misleading. And how many people haven't said after they saw that photo of Kris Jenner that, oh my God, I'm going to do that facelift. I'm going to have a facelift too. Anyway, Sydney Sweeney was also interviewed. There's a story in the Daily Mail, which they're referring to Variety, where she talks about how someone asked her to do Botox at 16. I mean, it's so crazy. She said, I was 16. She said to the outlet, I have a very strong eyebrow muscle, and I had someone tell me to fix my face or else I'm not going to make it. I should get Botox. At 16? I mean, who are these people that are telling young girls these things? They should be arrested. That's horrible. She shared with the publication, I think she said this to Variety actually, they're quoting them. She said, I've never had anything done. I'm absolutely terrified of needles, no tattoos, nothing. I'm going to age gracefully, she says. The thing is, Sydney Sweeney is only 28. It's very easy to say that when you're 28. We could ask her in 20 years if she still has the same plan. She says that it's really funny. I'll see things online like comparison pictures. I'm like, I'm 12 in that photo, and of course I'm going to look different. I have makeup on now, and I'm 15 years older. I hope that I can inspire other women to be confident and just flaunt what they got and feel good, because you shouldn't have to apologize or hide or cover up in any room. I agree that you should do whatever you feel comfortable with. My little issue with Sydney Sweeney is that she's promoting so much that you should just flaunt all the time. And I don't think that has anything to do with confidence. I think that's more leaning into insecurities. I think if you have to flaunt all the time, that just shows that you're a bit insecure and that you're looking for validation, and you're looking for validations in the wrong places, if you ask me. I feel like when you're showing off your assets all the time and that becomes your thing, people put you in that box. And then you can't complain later that you're being objectified, because that's what you ask for in a sense. I don't know, maybe I'm old-fashioned that way. I just feel like a confident woman to me is someone that it has to do with posture. It has to do with the way you carry yourself. When I say a confident woman, it has nothing to do with the way she flaunts her assets. I'm not saying that there's something wrong with flaunting your assets if that's what you want to do. I just feel like that has nothing to do with confidence. And I also feel like women that are looking for that kind of validation, it gets a lot harder to age, because at one point you don't know who you really are, and you are just expecting people to look at you for the wrong reasons. You want people to look at you for who you are and what you have to offer, not your cleavage. And I think that's why so many people in Hollywood specifically are going through this identity crisis, and they're getting desperate when they're aging, because they're like, what am I going to do now? Everything is about the way I look. And to me, looking at an actress on screen has nothing to do with her beauty. It's about her presence and the way I believe her in that character and the way that she's portraying someone real. And a lot of people, as you know, don't even look real anymore. And flaunting assets that are even fake, I don't know, I don't get it. I think this is one of those big misconceptions that are out there, that we as women are being told all the time, that it's so empowering to flaunt what you have all the time. When it comes to physicality, And I don't agree with that. I don't think it's empowering. I think it's just marketing powers that are telling us that, you can look better than you do right now. Just buy our products or do this plastic surgery, do all these things. And then you can be prouder of your assets and you can go out and you can feel empowered as a woman. I don't agree with it. I think empowerment lays within us. I think confidence lays within us. And I think we should just be critical thinkers instead. Because as long as we keep longing for a validation based on the way we look and our assets, I don't think that's going to bring you happiness. Just my 2 cents. I'm sure a lot of people disagree with me. Let me know. I'm open for discussions. Let me know in the comment section, you guys. Anyways, that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do and hit the notification bell. And yes, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.